we are going to talk about three major tech companies. Really, the main two are OpenAI and Google. And we'll also mention Amazon at the end just because we think it's an interesting development. I'm going to start with the OpenAI releases and then toss it back to you, Bridget, to share a little bit about Google. But OpenAI had this rollout in December that it called 12 Days of Shipmas, SHIP, because in the tech world, they ship new products. So every day of the 12 Days of Shipmas featured a new product from OpenAI. And I am not going to read all of the 12 products, but just know that each and every one of them was interesting and unique and has all sorts of applications and implications. And some of them focused on video generation, which will be particularly interesting down the line. And others were really designed more for technologists and app developers and might not be immediately apparent how we would use them. But we wanted to focus on a few. So on the first day of shipments, I feel like we should sing this. On the first day of this, OpenAI gave to me O1 and ChatGPT Pro. So this was a full release of the O1 reasoning model, which we've talked about before, which really moved from just having outputs that we used user feedback to strengthen and refine to really being a reasoning model that focuses on the internal quote unquote reasoning that the large language model does to reach an output. And so this was the full release of that model. It offered faster, smarter, and more accurate AI responses. And OpenAI also introduced ChatGPT Pro, which is a $200 per month subscription that provides access to advanced models, including O1, O1 MIDI, GPT-4o, and advanced voice mode. I will say from the commentary I've seen about this that for most people, you don't need the $200 a month subscription. The $20 a month will suffice. But if you're using video generation applications, maybe it's worth it. Is that what you've heard, Bridget?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out because I mean, my understanding of what it gives me access to, I think I already have access to, but the one thing I haven't played with, and maybe because I don't have access to it, is Sora and the video models, and so I don't know if that's the big difference or if there's some larger context window, or I can't quite figure out, but I don't know anyone who said you definitely need ChatGPT Pro yet.
Yeah.
I reserve the right to change my mind about that if I discover something later. But yeah, I'm exactly where you are on that.
And I would say for lawyers, don't worry about ChatGPT Pro, but do worry about making sure that if you're using ChatGPT, the $20 a month 4.0 version, because the number of lawyers I talk to who still use the free GPT 3.5, it's impossible to have a conversation about what's actually happening because it's an obsolete technology at this point. So bigger, stronger models are coming with different subscription tiers, but probably not relevant for most people now. Um, the next release that I thought was interesting was on the sixth day of Shipmas, advanced voice with video, and they also released Santa mode, which was hilarious. Did you use Santa mode at all?
No, but I heard a bunch of other people's like Santa mode clips, and they were hilarious. Did you do it with your kids?
I did do it with my kids, and also this is just like a user error situation. I couldn't figure out how to leave the default Santa mode. So I would be asking it questions like, could you help me brainstorm a way to frame this email? And it'd be like, ho, 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 Jennifer, that's a great question. And so for days, ho, ho, ho started every single response that I got. But so there was like a fun little Santa mode where Santa talked to you. My kids thought it was amazing. Even my son, who no longer believes in Santa, I think now re-believes in Santa because we were able to talk to him on ChatGPT. But also the same day, this advanced voice with video that pairs ChatGPT's voice capabilities with video generation. So this again goes to sort of the point of these multimodality ways of interacting with generative AI are just going to continue apace, I think. And so we're not just interacting with language anymore, but with video and voice as well. Day 8 of Shipmess was ChatGPT Search. So this was the unveiling of ChatGPT Search, which is a tool for retrieving answers from web sources optimized for speed and relevance. This seems to be making sure that Google doesn't dominate the race toward AI dominance, I guess. I know Sam Altman has said that he's not interested in making a better version of Google, but certainly they need to hedge their bets because of the things that you're going to talk about in a minute, Bridget, and talk about earlier. Um, and then day 10, I thought this was interesting. I did not even hear about this until we were prepping for the podcast, but on day 10, they released ChatGPT phone calls, which was a feature that allowed users to call ChatGPT from their phone for up to 15 minutes for free through a designated phone number. I think this is really interesting. We've worked in government work. I've worked in the government and know that a lot of times the general public cannot access the cool new solutions that you have because they don't have computers or use the internet. And I love the idea of people being able to call a generative AI and ask questions and have it use voice mode to respond. What did you think about this?
Yeah, I think it's fascinating, not only for, people in, digital deserts or people without, technology, but also for people who just don't wanna get comfortable with technology. I mean, I was telling you that my mom passed away in February, and I moved her husband to Michigan recently. He's 81. He's, like, in a new community for the first time, trying to figure out everything out, and I keep sending him, like, I shoot him links all the time to, like, "Here's how to find a dentist," or "Here's how," and he has no idea how to navigate a website, and I think, like, for him, this is gonna be a game changer. I can't wait to, like, teach him how to do this. I do when I was a kid, we used to call, like, what was the number? We called information to get a phone number. Like, now that's not a thing anymore. Like, you can't call information, but maybe you can call ChatGPT because he can't figure out where to find a phone number on a website. And once I realized that it actually is kind of complicated, you have to go to the top right where they have 3 bars. You have to press on the 3 bars. You have to find, like, contact us, and it's complicated. And calling a phone number is something he's good at. So I think there's, like, a number of people for whom I'll be really interested to see, if this takes off in a new way. Yeah, I think it's kinda cool.
Yeah, I also see all sorts of applications for companies for customer service. People hate chat. I hate chatbots, even the ones that are Gen AI integrated. If I'm on a website and a chatbot pops up, it's almost like you have to recondition people to engage with chatbots because they've been so bad to date. But talking to a human on the phone is preferable many times. So the stronger the voice capabilities, if you're able to interact that way, I feel like there are lots of opportunities for companies with their customer service.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. I'll be curious.
So the very last day of Shipmas, we won't get into this too much because we don't have access to it. But OpenAI released O3 and O3 Mini Preview, which was a preview of new models showcasing advancements in AI reasoning and interaction. And it seems like it was just August, September that we got access to O1, maybe later, maybe October
Yeah,
O1. So
I think it might have been October. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I remember doing presentations in August with like the rumor of O1 coming out and that this fall O1 was going to come out. So I think October. And, like, not even 2 months later, you're already having the preview of more powerful models. So these are built on those earlier reasoning models, but have significantly enhanced capabilities, and I don't know what those enhanced capabilities might be. Do you have a sense, Bridget?
I watched the last day of Shipmas, and then I read what everyone who had, advanced, access to it was saying about it. And it's I mean, there are definitely, like, a number of commentators who are trying to figure out if we can call that AGI, right? If can we call it super intelligence? Is it basically are we kind of there yet, with O3? And I think what they said was they were looking for people to help, red team it for the next month. They were like, you could sign up to, like, red team it with them, which I don't think I'm qualified to do, so I don't think I have anything complicated enough to ask it to, like, figure out if it's, answering me correctly, but it would be kind of fun. But they intend to release it to everybody else at the end of January, which is really kind of around the corner. So that's pretty stunning um, step forward, or will be a pretty stunning step forward. And I think I told you earlier that I read this morning Sam Altman's blog post from yesterday, kind of about what what's happening quickly. And he also had a very as always happens, he had one of these tweets, I think yesterday. Did you hear the 6-word tweet about super intelligence? It's like a whole thing, the 6-word story. He had a 6-word tweet about super intelligence, and it certainly sounds like they think they're pretty close to AGI. So I don't know if we're for sure gonna have AGI with O3, uh, but we're gonna have something pretty significant. If you're building technology with these, you need to know that this is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this like flurry of social media posts about contests for mathematicians to test the models and figure out what their capabilities are, and the commentary about like, have we reached this point where the human capacity to actually assess the models is insufficient, or at least in very limited supply, which is really weird. Okay, so that was OpenAI's December, which is a lot to digest. Thank you for tuning in to 2030 Vision, AI and the Future of Law. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our podcast and leave a review. Stay informed and inspired as we continue to explore the AI-driven future of the legal profession. We'll see you next time.